space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe in yourself and do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me. The power to touch, feel it, hear and see.
The power to touch, feel, hear, and see.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe in yourself and do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me. The power to touch, feel it, hear and see.
The power to touch, feel, hear, and see.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than
Hello everyone, welcome and congratulations Wisconsinites for not fucking up. Hooray! So that's good. That's good. The Wisconsin Supreme Court is not gonna be shit. So that's good. I'm pretty happy about that. That's pretty dope. We're gonna watch the guy who lost be super salty about it today on Chud Watch, so that's good. We haven't been doing Chud Watch very often because for mental health reasons, you know, been wanting to get away from it, so we've been doing more sovereign citizens and conspiracy stuff, which is fun, and I enjoy those things. But I would like to start diving back into this stuff more often. I think that would be fun. So, welcome back to more Chud Watch. And of course, I can't resist the MAGA cope of the Trump indictment, right? Gotta watch that. I asked Peter if he wants to come back on, by the way. We'll see how that goes. Because we've been DMing on Truth Social. So fingers crossed on that one. Alright, did I miss anything in terms of bits or anything? I don't think so. Oh wait, no, there was. Overthought says, Chuds, these leftists are trying to bring about the end of the world, voters in Chicago and Wisconsin yesterday. Beautiful. And I have to remove that part. That song always gets me. Ironically, you get copyright struck on YouTube for the Soviet anthem. Because it doesn't belong to me. Anyway, So how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing good. I can never get a good, like, place in the camera, because, like, I adjust the camera, I'm kind of up here. But then I sit back down, and I feel like there's too much headroom. If I do that? What if I... Seems okay? God, this shirt's too big now, too. It doesn't, like, show off my figure at all. It's just... Whew. I'm a little manic today, chat. Oh, this also, if you weren't here yesterday when I introduced this, we of course are doing the maid outfit when we, hit, a level 10 hype train, which happens from time to time, but also, now we have a monthly tip goal, which is the Streamlabs, or PayPal tips, and this just accumulates throughout the month as tips come in, and if we hit $200, we'll do a maid day. We'll do a maid day. So... Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with MAGA Cope. Why not? Let's get into it.
I love you, Trump. Bullshit, man. I love you, Trump. I'll be there for you, President, man. They just...
I'll be there for you
Right.
when you want me to.
They don't want you to be president.
I don't want him to be president. That is true.
If you're a Trump hater, if you're a Trump hater, I'm gonna need you to go in the kitchen and pack you a lunch. Go ahead and find you a nice seat somewhere and buckle your seatbelt and get ready for the fucking ride that's coming.
I feel like the Trump QAnon MAGA supporter people have been saying buckle your seatbelt since like 2016. And the only time that was really applicable was when Trump actually won the first election. Every time since then it's been shitty, but like nothing seatbelt buckle worthy that they could brag about, you know? Like, sure, he fucked COVID up a lot, but like that's not a brag worthy thing, so what are our seatbelts supposed to be buckled for? Inti Pretzel says, I think we're in a copium deficit now. It's a shame.
Well, it looks like time is about here. And when they knock at my door, I will be locked and loaded. Period. I will defend my home, my family, my freedoms. Period.
I feel like you probably shouldn't go on the internet and basically threaten the entire federal government. Now, I know he's saying defensively, if they come for me, but like, if the government's coming for you, they would probably have a legal reason to do so. I understand that in this man's delusional head, he's being, like, trodden upon like it's a dictatorship. But no. Just be normal. Stop wanting to shoot people. Gnome Pickles says, oh my, a Trump supporter threatened that I am a danger now? Is it a day that ends in Y already?
There's nothing worse than watching your country die. There's nothing worse. Especially if you have kids.
Take a look at the optics, folks. Take a look at the optics. Take a look at the optics. This is what communist countries do.
Communist countries indict people for alleged crimes?
Take a look at the optics. Banana Republic.
Oh, you got a flag. That's nice. Chiba Hawk, thanks for 22 months, says, Arrestmas is one of the best days in American history. Congratulations, we done it. Nothing's happened yet. We'll see if he actually gets convicted of anything.
Trump, 2024. Wake the fuck up.
Yeah, I heard about the Tennessee thing.
Because you and I will be next. This is the beginning of communism in this country.
What are you gonna be next for? Have you also falsified your business records in an attempt to obfuscate other felonies? Like, that's not... If you also do that, yes, they will arrest you. Correct.
Wake the fuck up.
Psychotic.
This is the motorcade, President Trump leaving New York City, right? Here goes his motorcade. What we're going to focus on is that right there. That's an ambulance. It literally has the medical sign on the roof.
I mean, it's also clearly an ambulance, yeah.
001 ambulance to be exact. It's going to go with the motorcade. And there's the rest of the motorcade, just waiting for President Trump to pass by. They'll pan back out and I'll show you. They don't send an...
Wait, what just happened?
This is the motorcade, President... I send an ambulance. There he goes. They don't send an ambulance for former presidents.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me as if part of motorcades is sometimes that, because let's say someone tried to make an attempt on the life of a president or former president, anyone who has this motorcade thing going on, it would make sense to have an ambulance right there so that you have medical personnel and an area to do things, like let's say someone shot the president, or whoever is in this motorcade, and the Secret Service takes down the shooter, or at least gets the president or ex-president to the ambulance where they then get in and everyone drives away really quick. Meanwhile, the people in the back, the medical people, could be, you know, stabilizing the president. Why would it be weird for there to be an ambulance with this? That makes total sense to me.
Only for current presidents. Why?
What? No, Secret Service is a thing that you get for life if you're the president. Like, Bill Clinton still has Secret Service people that are assigned to him, that go with him, and George W. Bush. Yeah, Obama.
Because they don't need medical help like a current president would. Now we're going to fast forward up here to 32 minutes, and I'll show you. He's on the damn bridge. There it is. There's the ambulance.
Okay.
That seems peculiar. Why
Isn't Trump like 60? Trump is 76 years old, I believe. 74? Sorry, I was a little off.
would they do that?
Times, and I said to one person I was going to touch on this subject, so here we go. How are you going to take on the entire U.S. military and the government?
Oh, he is 76? Nailed it.
Well, Karen and Tony.
Karen? You're Karen for asking you a question about how you're going to take on the American government?
No offense to all the Karens and Tonys who...
Is Tony the male version of Karen? I've never heard that. I've heard Kevin. I've heard Darren. I've never heard Tony.
use their head. Do you understand how many civilians are veterans who had the same training, know all about the same machines that are being used today?
Okay, do they own them? Do they personally have an F-22 Raptor jet or whatever? Do they have military-grade drones? I'm guessing they don't have any on hand. The government has those, and the tanks and nuclear weapons. Right.
And
they assume all civilians will be on their side because everyone in their small town or whatever politically is the same as them. They don't understand that the political makeup of the United States is complex. Oh, that's a big spider. Don't like that.
Won't put up with that kind of shit. Then there's the whole how many active duty will flip on the people of this country.
If they did, they'd be tried and court-martialed immediately. Again, do you think these people personally own all their own military equipment? That's not how this works.
I want to give you a very, very, very conservative number. 60% will tell them to fuck off.
You think 60% of the military would tell people to fuck off if they were told to stop, like, a domestic terrorist event in the United States?
And I'm pretty sure that's a damn conservative number. If you're a veteran or active duty, well, maybe not.
Have you heard about all the chuds destroying their beer? That's hilarious. I saw the Bud Light thing. I didn't know right-wingers were getting, like, destroying their beer over it, though.
You active duty guys may not want to speak on this right now. Let us know.
Well, hey, friends. I'm sure I'm not the only one hearing this, and I'm going to let you, of course, be the judge. But I want you to hear this going on with this, of course, indictment.
Before being brought to the 15th floor for his 15 to 30-minute hearing, sources tell Fox he'll face at least 30 charges related to business fraud.
I think it was 32. Lampetia says, always hilarious to see these people thinking the government won't turn on them because they haven't had the black, brown, or indigenous experience in this country.
Around hush money payments. Now, if we turn over here, you'll see what is called Media Row. These are tense and hundreds.
Is it literally just they're going to say President Trump and this lady is going to be like, see, he's still the president? Not understanding that, like, former presidents are often referred to as President blank, President Obama, President Clinton. Like, they're still called that even when they're not in office. Often former, but people shorten it to just president. Fenakagami says Trump was hands down the most unpopular Republican president amongst military people, and military skews Republican. Yeah.
It's a media that have been here for a couple of weeks now reporting on what will be the first indictment of a former and current president. Journalists have a couple of weeks now reporting.
Let's listen to that again.
I would imagine he was supposed to say former or current president and misspoke, ma'am. Trump isn't the president, and I also don't know if you know this, but the tense a person uses on Fox News when reporting a story is not how we determine the executive of the federal government is. That's not how that works.
That's what I'm trying to get across to people there. Right there. You know, they're doing it already. They're doing it. We're already fucked. Might as well go out with a fucking bang.
Stop threatening things on the internet.
And that's the point I'm trying to get across to people. Our generation, we are already fucked. We're already too deep to be unburied. And we're going to suffer a lot of consequences. But if we're going out, we're dead. We're done anyway. We're eliminated. We're executed. We're unalived anyway. So go out like a fucking warrior.
Oh my god, this guy's just outright telling people to go unalive yourself by cop. Jesus Christ. Profane Priestess says, I just adore how triggered righties are over Dylan Mulvaney. Also, if you're considering Jake's call with Dave, I'm in trying to explain some basic anthropology and history, and Dave straight up declares that anthropology is bullshit, straight up deciding entire sciences don't exist. MH Darkbeast says, best one is Michigan's own Kid Rock destroying his beer and missing almost all the shots. Kid Rock is a fucking loser.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today.
Could you not say those words in that order ever again?
Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible.
Why is it, I've seen this in like different right-wing videos. They'll like pan out to reveal gun. I know, we know you have guns. We know you have guns. It's not like a we know you have guns. It's fine. Why does Kid Rock own a submachine gun?
Fuck Bud Light. Fuck Anheuser-Busch.
Fuck Bud Light. Alter Undying, thanks for 6 months. Lampeda says, I'm so gonna show this huge corporation by buying their product. I would hope at least these were cases he already owned. But they're probably not. He probably had his assistant go buy multiple cases just for this fucking bit. Gnome Pickle says, I got vengeance on the trans beer with my phantom penis. And Randblum Boy says, this is like a Bud Light ad written by an AI. Oh, God. Where were we? Calling all Donald Trump supporters that know that indictment is false and are still going to vote in 2024. And it's the fucking... from Hunger Games, right? Pretty sure that's Hunger Games. Steve with a Q with 100 bits, thank you. Kicks off a hype train. What did Bud Light do? Bud Light is doing a Pride campaign and is getting sponsored by a trans woman, I think. I don't know the person. I thought trans woman, but I'm not sure. Sorry if I'm wrong. Y2 Yasmin says, the funniest bit about this is there's a literal forum somewhere, I forget where, that has a bunch of right-wingers trying to find unwoke beer brands, and they just can't. Gnome Pickles, thanks for gifting a sub.
All concerned about Donald Trump getting arrested. Why? It doesn't matter who the president is anymore.
I'm going to tell you something, and I think it's okay for me to say it now. I think the cat is about out of the bag. I think
Metal Turtle, thanks for 500 bits.
There's a lot of people that probably already noticed this, and I'm sure if you...
He has a Rick and Morty shirt on, so if you want another reason to be embarrassed for liking a show that's actually pretty good, but has been ruined by its actors and fan base.
Use your brain, or your eyeballs, you'll be able to tell this too. Newsflash, it's all fake. It's fake. You have people up behind the podiums at Congress, at the White House, supposedly, and it's fake. It's a big show. I know. You sound like a crazy person. Sure.
I love when crazy people say, like, you sound like a crazy person, but in a weird voice, as if that, like, negates it. That happens all the time on Tinfoil Tuesday. They'll be like, yeah, you'll call me a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, you're being a conspiracy theorist, nutbag. You're not being self-aware. You're lampshading. There's a difference.
Sure, I guess. Fine. But you've seen the masks. Their faces don't look the same. Their head looks different. John Fetterman just got a head transplant.
I am begging people to learn how cameras work.
It's fake. It doesn't matter.
I'd be out of the job if people learned how lenses worked. That's like 65% of conspiracy theories is people not knowing how fucking cameras work.
So
different focal lengths on your lenses is gonna change the shape of someone's face and other things in the image. That's why different lenses exist, because they give different qualities to different images depending on what you're trying to do, whether you're trying to capture portraits or like landscapes, or if you're shooting something wide or want to get something kind of focused in, you want the depth to be a certain way. There's reasons people do things, is what I'm saying, and people look different with different cameras. Please calm down. Literally, like, I own multiple cameras. You guys know this, because, is the other one still hooked up? If it was, I'd turn it on and show the difference, because they are different cameras, and I'll show you. Let's see if I can get this to work. Video capture device 2. Will this work? No, damn it. Well, the point is, I work with cameras, and you can literally put two cameras right next to each other and switch between them, and you can see the difference. They're looking at the same exact image. However, it'll look very different depending on the lens and how the camera's built. Hydrate.
Oh.
25% to level 2 on the hype train.
What's really happening? What if I told you there's a big continuity of government plan and they pretended that the Biden regime took over? What if I told you that most of those people are wearing masks? What if I told you that they're using voice AI technology and CGI?
Not
next
the,
level stuff.
Not the voice AI.
Hollywood doesn't like to put it out. Because...
Sorry, I missed someone's bits. Someone's seen Face Off one too many times.
Yes, yeah.
I could eat a peach for hours.
You know, then people would know.
My Nicolas Cage is killer.
He said, doesn't really matter who is the president. Fact is, Trump won. Yeah, he did.
He didn't. That's why he's not the president. Speedo Spank, thanks for 14 months. 52% to level 2 with a little under a minute left.
And you're watching a big show, a movie. There's actors. They're wearing face masks. You'd be surprised who's all.
There's 200 people here, chat. You can't let the hype
You'll
train
see it
die
It's all
before
coming
hitting
up.
level 2.
Why? Because
There are
America
so
will
many
need to be
subs
woken
left
up.
to give.
You need
Bits
to see what socialism
yet
can actually look like
unused.
here in the United States. You got a bunch of good guys wearing masks that are reading scripts to show.
Jesus Christ. Maps and Mimics, thanks for 50 bits and a link. Red Werewolf, thanks for 50 bits. Yeah, this is the, ooh, we might have saved it. Maybe? Yes, fuck yes. Red Werewolf for 50 bits. R. Wester V with 100 bits. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. And Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. And saving the hype train. Yeah, MAGA, I'm switching to Coors Light. Coors Light, the fuck you are. And then it's a bunch of stuff about Coors Light and, the LGBT community. 1978, Coors became the first brewer to institute a non-discrimination policy based on sexual orientation. 1993, Coors founded Lager, the first LGBT employee resource group amongst brewers. 1995, full domestic partner benefits for all employees. 2004 to 2015, Perfect 100 Human Rights Campaign index score for 11 years running as Miller Coors. Coors Light proudly supports national LGBT organizations, including the Matthew Shepard Foundation, Trans Tech, National Gay and Lesbian Chambers of Commerce, GLAAD, HRC, Out and Equal. Coors Light supports dozens of local LGBT sports leagues. It goes on like this. Basically, if you want beer, you have to fund the woke. Get drunk, go woke. Am I right, chuds? So I guess either be sober or learn that we live in a society. Devil Summoner Marie, thanks for 25 months, says, fine, I won't think of something cringe to say in my resub. Thank you. Limpita says, if this is all a show we are watching, then it peaked in Season 3 with 4 seasons landscaping parking lot conference and has been downhill since. Speedo Spank, thanks for 100 bits, 41% to level 4.
Pertaining to the matter of Donald Trump's indictment, don't worry, he will be set free. You know who else was arrested the same week as Easter?
Jesus.
Under false pretenses.
I don't understand the false pretenses thing. Jesus was not arrested under false pretenses. Jesus was arrested, like, for I'm not saying it's right within the mythology, but I am saying, by Roman law, he broke the law. The Romans were kind of shit. Don't know if you know that. Gnome Pickle says, brewing is an art form and artists tend to be woke. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You connect the dots. God wins. God is on our side. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless Donald Trump.
Look, I'm not saying President Trump rates up there with Jesus Christ.
Kind of seems like you probably are, at least trying to make some sort of connection between the two. Otherwise, why are you bringing him up?
But Jesus was also persecuted for crimes he didn't commit. And look how that turned out for us. We got you back, Mr. President.
Devil Summoner Marie says, Budweiser gave thousands to gay trans conversion groups last year. It's just a shitty corp using whatever they think will make them money. Oh, I'm very aware. I'm very aware that companies often play both sides in order to try and win brownie points with whatever demographic they're trying to sell to that day. I know, but it pisses off right-wingers, and I like that. I'm petty. Chiba Hawk says, big dick beer made for men, by men.
Question for
Like, I hate corporations already, but if I can make, or if anyone can make right-wingers upset that the products they buy in some way are giving money to organizations they don't like but I think are good, I don't know. It makes me feel good. Steve with the Q says, I'll accept the parallel if it extends to the method of punishment.
for you. Do you believe that God will protect Trump from this evil?
No.
I do.
Like, I don't necessarily think he'll be convicted, but no. I'm not religious, but if there is a God, I guarantee they don't like Trump. Moira Soma says, since it's Chud Watch, I have this story about Andrew Tate. My mum's friend's ex beat up Andrew Tate in an English pub about 11 or 12 years ago. Tate was being a complete turd all evening and people wanted him to leave. He said to the friend's ex that he wanted to train his daughter, who was 3 or 4 at the time, to be an obedient sex slave, and then he was a bloody mess. I'm not a fan of violence, but if someone said that about my daughter, I would. Jesus Christ. Sounds like he probably deserved it. If that happened. Speedo Spank says, has Peter had any reaction anywhere to Trump's whole situation? He thinks it's going great. I'm in a conversation with him now on Truth Social. 76% to level 4 with 15 seconds left. Speedo Spanks, nope, read that. Briar Rose says, if you want transfem chud, pick me. Let's see. Thanks for the level 3 hype, everyone. Oh, God. Alright. Thanks for the recommendation. Prepare for man babies to whine about the Mario movie.
If you're staying silent in this war between good and evil because it's too hard for you to speak up, your children are the ones who are going to have to pay for that.
The DA in New York.
I was going to say, I know I said recommendation because, like, I was gonna say wreck, but then I thought it was super cringe for me to breathe that word. Like I was trying to sound cool with my breathes, so I decided to unbreathe the word. Hydrate. Sorry about the missed bits. Republican, Biden is a bad president, and he's ruining and turning the country into a socialist third world communist country. Also Republicans, Trump is the president and is in control. Trust the plan.
York. Well, you want to tote around and play your games with Trump to push an agenda that's complete BS. You might hold other people accountable as well. If memory serves me right, Hillary had how many Marines die on her watch and got how many fucking handouts?
Is this about Benghazi? Are we circling back to Benghazi? Did they reach the end of the proverbial rhetorical Pac-Man board and they've circled back around like it's 2012?
From who knows? And while we're on the subject of the Bidens, just found out that they're receiving money.
Like, unironically, Benghazi happened like a fucking decade ago. There are voters who don't know what the fuck that even means. Drop it.
Multiple people in his family from China while he's selling us to China. So if you're going to hold people accountable, you better hold them all accountable. Because God knows they've got skeletons in their closet.
It's just super bizarre to me to imagine holding the president responsible for the deaths of any specific soldiers on like one specific mission that goes badly, or them getting attacked. Like, I understand broadly saying, like, if the president is in the decision-making process, like, but shit goes wrong. Shit goes wrong. Like, they're not on the ground. They're not... It's like they think the president's the team healer, and he's just doing a real bad job. You know what I mean? Anyway. And yes, Clinton wasn't the president at the time. Obama was. Since Trump won't be arrested today, but they did. They did, though. Stone Corbell says it's never the team healer's fault. Sounds like a healer. She says how many because she hasn't looked to know how many.
Those of you that have been following me for a while know that I love a good conspiracy theory.
Me too.
But this one...
I'll let you know when I find one.
It's just a little bit different today. So I'm sure we all know Donald Trump is in New York dealing with this bullshit indictment. His motorcade was seen leaving the airport and heading to Trump Tower. While I was watching this, I noticed something just a little bit off. We'll watch it together, see if you notice it too. Alright, so the video starts off, nothing out of the ordinary. You got your local PD, You've got your lead cars, which usually house your Secret Service, security detail, etc. It's a lot of Secret Service for a civilian.
He's the ex-president. Why are people acting as though ex-presidents don't get Secret Service protection? This is an unprecedented event in American history. Like, they're taking it seriously. What do you want them to do? It's psychotic. Ashley One Up says, Jesus, love your neighbor as yourself. There's no commandment greater than these. Donald Trump, I have a great relationship with the blacks. Yes, surely the same person.
Then you've got things like communication vans. You've got these extra cars inside the motorcade that are not normal for a citizen. That's a lot of vehicles for a citizen.
He is a citizen that also is a former president of the United States.
And there's the presidential limo right there. And here's where shit gets funky. What the fuck is that?
That's an ambulance. Why are they obsessed with the ambulance?
What the fuck is that? Why? Why is there an ambulance following a presidential motorcade? And I don't want to hear...
I would imagine, again, in case anything were to happen.
Bullshit about Donald Trump is boisterous or whatever. That is a presidential motorcade. That is literally the definition of a presidential motorcade. Look it up. President Obama, when he was in office, he was known for this massive entourage like this that had...
Okay, and Trump is a former president being indicted, so the Secret Service, who was already assigned to him, as they are assigned to all former presidents, planned for this, knowing that there would be a lot of attention on this, gave him extra protection for that day, so it effectively just looks like a presidential motorcade, because that's what it is, effectively, even though he's not the president anymore. Sume says, I return!
After 10,000 years, I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth!
Power Rangers Reunion comes out this month. I'm so excited.
All kinds of vehicles in it. His motorcade looks exactly like this motorcade.
Okay? They're both put on by the Secret Service. That would be why. Y2 Yasmin says, so they're worried about Trump's location being live-streamed basically to the whole world, but also worried about an ambulance being there just in case Trump gets attacked. Guys, gals, and pals, and all in between and outside, the right isn't sending their best, are they? This unironically might be their best. That's the scary part.
Why is there an ambulance following a fucking citizen?
Because he might get shot in the face because he's famous and people hate him.
I'll fucking tell you why. Because that man is your commander-in-chief. That man is still our sitting president. I know that sounds fucking crazy. I know that it sounds crazy. I haven't made one of these fucking crazy videos in a while.
It is fucking crazy. You are correct. It's also quite stupid. So thanks for pointing that out. Sky Comet says, I was a little perplexed by the ambulance, but figured Trump is old AF and super unhealthy.
I'm telling you, that man is still your sitting president.
He's
and
not.
It's illegal to arrest a sitting commander-in-chief, so...
It's not illegal! It is the current position of the Department of Justice, but there's no law against it. Jesus. And it's a stupid position anyway.
Shit's about to get weird. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. Like this video, share this video, comment on this video. I want to know everybody's thoughts. If you think I'm fucking crazy, tell me you think I'm fucking crazy. You're not going to hurt my...
You're crazy.
This whole...
Why does this guy look like one of the Beaver Boys? Beaver Boys.
This whole entire time, I thought Stormy Daniels was a senator or a House member. Something to do with government. I had no idea that she was who she was. So this whole thing about Trump is gotta be staged. I mean, it's gotta be staged. What do you
Why?
think? What do you think's happening right now? Is he putting his wardrobe together? Is he... Who knows? Who knows what he's doing? But, I just thought I'd let you know that, in case it matters. It helps you in some way.
I think everyone knows. I think you were the only person who didn't know what this was about. It's about illegally obfuscating what funds were used for to hide a different crime, basically.
That, to know, that I thought Stormy Daniels was a member of the U.S. government.
Why did you make a video pointing out that you're a dumbass and then act as though you get a point for that? Guys, just so you know, I'm really stupid. Did you know that?
This goes out to all the common sense people. And I mean, no libtard.
This guy kind of looks like my dad, but with a bad Snapchat filter.
No democrooks, common sense people. Think about our friends in New York who are rooting for Trump, who are behind him, and encourage them. Don't get involved in these crowds with these socialist idiots. Do your best to stay calm, believe what you believe, don't engage, stay out of jail, and back our president. He needs us now more than ever. We're all smart. We all know exactly what they're doing. We know what they're trying, and we know what they're trying to get away with.
Sky Comment says, PSA, do not film yourself from below. You'll give yourself a double chin and weird shadows on your face. It's why my camera's slightly elevated. That's why people take photos and selfies like this. It's flattering to have a higher angle. Ashley One Up says, there's no way a guy who looks like that doesn't know who the porn star Stormy Daniels is. Meek says, one day your dad is going to end up here, isn't he? I don't know. If it happened, it would be hilarious. Gnome Pickles says, don't engage and talk to others, because then you might get infected with reality.
So, stay safe. Keep each other's backs. I wish I could be there because I'd have your back.
Would I tell you if it's my dad? Yeah, you think I could scroll down a list at some point and see my dad and not be like, holy shit, guys, that's my fucking dad. He would never end up in here. He spends his time drinking and smoking weed, and he doesn't do anything. He sits in front of his TV and watches either Fox News or sports or Gunsmoke and is high and drunk and doesn't do anything. He would never make a TikTok. He doesn't know how technology works.
And let's pray and get through this together. Love to everybody.
Folks, what's happening today is very dangerous for this. How did we get here? How did we let the liberal communists...
Liberal communists! Those are antithetical. Those are... You literally cannot... You can't be both of those things at the same time. Those are mutually exclusive. Devil Summoner Marie says, if you ever get someone who is slightly more fit and indigenous CC, Chris, that's probably my dad. Legit, they look almost identical. My dad is just brown. That's kind of funny.
The ones that are bought and paid for by Soros.
Soros?
Soros is an evil, evil man. He is a very evil man. Go back and look him up. I'm talking to the right, I'm talking to the left. If you knew what he did to his own people, you wouldn't be so giddy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is this one of these people who thinks George Soros was involved in orchestrating the Holocaust, even though he was, like, 12 when it happened or something? That's a conspiracy theory if you don't know. Yeah.
That is who is the puppet master.
Soros was 9 years old during World War II. That's what they want you to believe, is probably what she'd say.
People like him. We have...
Why is her lighting flashing? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I can't tell if it's actual, like, lighting in her environment or if the light sensor is trying to, like, discern the lighting level it should have and it just can't decide for some reason, so it keeps trying to adjust.
These sick liberal communists.
How do I pronounce Keter? Keter. Is it Keter? I always say Keter in my head. I think it sounds better.
Play us for big ass fools.
Oh, TV? That would make sense.
See, they don't want Trump. See, Trump, everybody loved Trump. Everybody wanted Trump to run till he came as a Republican.
Nope, people did not want Trump to run. What?
See, the fix was in for Hillary to get elected. But see, people, there was still a lot of Americans that said, oh, hell no. That thing cannot be president of this country. She is evil. And so they didn't vote for her. And the liberals went crazy and they started in with the press and all this stuff.
Did you guys, when you were learning to read, have those books that had the different numbers on them to indicate, like, what the reading level was? So you would start at, like, 1, and then, you know, once you kind of got through the 1s, you would probably hopefully be, like, proficient enough to get to level 2. What level do you think she's on?
And they turned us against one another. They went after Donald Trump, the one that they used to love him. But see, he started exposing them. And they couldn't have that. So they had to turn the people against him. And
I do have to say this. My parents were dog shit, but my mom did make me learn how to read at a young age and, forced me to read books recreationally. So I've always had a good, like, reading comprehension level. And I'm so glad. One of the biggest problems I see these days is people not having, like, literacy, both, like, literal literacy and also media literacy and interpreting what they're reading or watching. And holy hell, it's such an important skill. She's on level cereal box. Hey, sometimes the mazes on the back of those are hard, okay? Have you tried?
Against each other. And now they're in our Congress and our Senate and our judges and DAs. They're crooked and they're destroying our country. We don't have to worry about enemies attacking us because we are destroying our own country. If they can do this to this man, just think it will be the right's turn. And it's going to be a tit for a tat.
If you can find illegality that you have evidence of that you can present to a court and a jury and find people guilty, then you should do that. Do it. Raven says, used to be the Rothschilds. I like to think the Rothschilds paid a bunch of money on conspiracy propaganda to get them to focus on George Soros instead. It's kind of funny, yeah.
There will never be another fair justice system in this country again.
The average American reads at a 7th to 8th grade level. I wonder what mine is. Are there reading tests you can do that tell you, like, what your reading comprehension level is?
If we let
I should do one on stream and embarrass myself.
Them get away with destroying our country.
Because in kindergarten, I had a 5th grade reading level. Or not kindergarten, I'm sorry. I'm thinking 1st grade, I had a 5th grade reading level. So I was ahead. But maybe I just stayed at a 5th grade reading level. I would never know. I've not been tested.
And destroying what our founders built for us. What we have built. We have to unite and get these.
This is an open letter to our 45th president.
Burned out former gifted child. You clocked it.
Of the United States.
That's the problem. Okay. I was always ahead of people in school. Grade school was easy. I never had to try at all in grade school. And then I went to college, and you actually have to try in college. And I hit the fucking wall immediately. So I'm real glad the internet thing worked out, because I was not able to handle being a human being. Jitara says, Hannah, you're the high priestess of the Temple of Paul. The only book you need to be able to read is the main man's own holy book. Luckily, anything I say is in the holy book so that's easy. English reading level test? Yes. Wonder how long this takes. There are 20 questions. We'll do that later, maybe, at the end of the stream, as kind of a fun thing. Hydrate.
States, Donald John Trump, year, Mr. President. Myself as an American
You hit that wall literally second last in my class, yeah.
citizen want you to know not only myself but millions more of American citizens stand behind you 100%. We will not sway. We will not turn our back on you. We will not walk away. We stand firmly on the ground that we're standing on now, supporting you. Sir, it's so sad in our country as it is today that you have been persecuted.
Was it Hannah or Jake who created Harold Penisman? I don't remember who first said the words Harold Penisman, but Jake is the voice of Harold Penisman, so any dialogue and improv stuff was him, so I'd say it's probably majority him.
Prosecuted and pretty much well crucified since the day that you decided to run for President of the United States. From the moment you stepped foot in the White House, the Democratic Party seek to destroy you. They have done everything underhanded.
Looks like she's got a door on her ceiling.
Misconstrued everything. Led the media to downtrodden you and ruin you also. And the only thing you tried to do was do great things.
It was Armored Skeptic? That's a shame.
For a great nation. You brought back God to our country. You brought back togetherness. You brought back jobs. You brought us...
Wow, he did all that? I'd love you to give specific examples of why you think each of these things.
back things to look forward to where we could prosper once again.
Ceiling is to confuse the ghosts. I understood that reference.
And people could
Winchester Mystery House.
own homes and become millionaires, which is out of the question now.
Just last year, we could all become millionaires. Genius. Screaming at the Radio says somebody should do an investigative journalism someday about the weird folk that rotate around the gifted child idea. There's some very concerning connections with eugenics ideas and such. I never thought about it.
And we love you for it. Many Democrats are walking around with their eyes wide shut, not seeing the reality of the circumstance and the situation and the dire
I've actually never seen Eyes Wide Shut.
straits we are.
Just don't like Tom Cruise. Sky Comet says, First Fenigami says, never forget the MAGA people don't care about anyone but themselves. These people will see us as tools to use and throw away. They don't even wait for us to break. They'll throw you away and when the mood suits them. Sorry, this shit in Tennessee really set me off. Understandable. Sky Comet says, Wikipedia defining liberalism. Generally support private property, market economics, individual rights, including civil rights and human rights, liberal democracy, secularism, rule of law, economic and political freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and freedom of religion. Liberals are not leftists. I have to correct Chuds on this all the time. Rublum, thanks for gifting us up.
Are in right now without a great leader. And a great leader we do not have right now. You know as I know that the Democratic Party has done nothing but witch hunt you for years now. Every way they turn, they want to discredit you because you believe in the people in the United States of America, no matter the race, color, creed, nationality, no matter the religion, nor the
I feel like these people see a different universe Trump than we do.
Have one.
So bizarre.
You know, we have one man in our lifetime that had the nerve to stand against the elites that run this world. We had one man who had the courage to put America first, to put the West first, to stop the endless war.
I feel like anthropologically, or like sociologically, there's so many interesting things that are going to be looked at 100 years from now about the MAGA phenomenon. How and why did people who may genuinely be in shitty positions, because the US is kind of fucked, how did they determine that their savior was going to be another billionaire rich asshole who is literally like the spokesperson for fucking capitalism? Like, how did they think that guy was going to be the savior of the working class? Very bizarre. Rublum, thanks for gifting us some.
And what did he get in return? Endless investigations. Name dragged throughout the media 24/7. Nothing but a constant barrage of insults, memes, and everything else. All because he wanted to do what's right for his country. The politicians turned their back on him because they're too worried about their own career.
I'm sorry, I can't take it seriously with the music.
We're gonna do a clarification and another quasi-decode. Here's the post. First indictment,
QAnon claimed as a source.
Mass Pop Awakening. First arrest verifies action and confirms future direction. Marker 9. But wait, here's Trump's post. See how the word indicted is spelled wrong? Next to a 45? Misspelling is a marker next to 45, which is 9. Marker 9. It's the second decode I've done.
Guys, Trump isn't an idiot. He's just sending us secret messages through his tweets.
Marker 9. We are in the thick of it. Watch for the first arrest.
Oh, QAnon people.
Message to Democrats and Joe Biden in particular.
Is this Joe Rogan's dad? What the fuck? Look at this guy. This looks like what Joe Rogan would look like if he wasn't famous. Like if his UFC career had kind of fizzled and he never got on Fear Factor and he just lived in a trailer.
There's people like me in this world. We don't give a fuck about tomorrow. We care about the freedom for our children, for our families, and we're ready to die. We don't have anything left to lose, Joe. This one's on you.
I will support Trump to the very end. Bottom line, no turning back.
I guess we're just gonna see how far we can take this. That's what we're doing. We're not doing nothing. We're gonna see how far we can take this.
What the fuck?
So y'all mean to tell me you really thought that this was gonna go somewhere, like literally thought it was gonna go somewhere? Y'all are crazy. Okay, let's just go ahead and throw this out there. On January 20th, when Donald Trump became president, he was no longer in control of his business, and every one of the charges, all 34.
Profane Priestess says, if I made some YouTube videos sharing my knowledge of anthropology and history, could I share it here in Discord? Sure.
4 of them took place after he was inaugurated as president. Now, do you...
There's no evidence he actually divested from any of his businesses. Remember the thing? So many things happened in the Trump presidency. It's genuinely hilarious that we forget so much. Remember that event where he, quote-unquote, divested from his businesses, but then people zoomed in on all the paperwork on the desk, and it was all blank? It was a table of empty folders? I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to demonstrate that he was still making decisions for his organization, even though he wasn't supposed to be doing so.
See the problem with this right here? The Democrats made such a big deal out of him being president and running the business at the same time, so he relinquished it, put it to a trust.
But he didn't, though. If he's directing people within the business to do things for him, as they have evidence of him doing, then he's still in charge, even if he's not on paper. You understand that, right?
So he's not running the... This is a joke.
U.S. government has tanks and drones and a nuclear arsenal. What do you think you're going to do with your...
If you think for a second that the government would be willing to use tanks and drones and its own nuclear arsenal on its own citizens...
I mean, if you were doing an insurrection, yeah.
Within its own borders, you have major problems.
You think they wouldn't? You think they wouldn't? Because that's wild to me. If you think that, you have such high faith in your government to give a shit about you. Probably not nukes, because again, that would ruin land that, you know, they'd then have to deal with, and it would be all fucked up. But, sir, they would. If you tried to overthrow the government, they would. And personally, just in my feeling, I wouldn't feel bad for you, because that's what happens. You're trying to overthrow the government. You started a conflict. Stone Carbell says, maybe not nukes, but they definitely use tanks. Hell, cops use tanks right now.
That is a clear indicator that the government is absolutely out of control.
Again, Not necessarily. I get what you're saying. If it was like a group of people that I felt were justified, I'd probably feel the same way as you. But you're not justified, so...
That is a clear indicator that they are
But even then, I wouldn't think the government wouldn't do anything about it.
no longer fit to govern, and they all need to be purged from office. They all need to be arrested. They all need to be investigated.
Chitara says the government would 100% do that. Sincerely, the grandson of an American civil rights activist. Yeah. Gnome Pickles says, all I did was join in a civil war and attempt a coup, and the government fought back. I don't understand.
They all need to be tried, and they all need to be convicted and punished for bribery.
So we can convict current and former politicians, then, if they've committed crimes? Good to know.
Other high crimes and misdemeanors, as well as treason. Did you not just hear what you said?
Do you not know what treason is? Not just doing a bad. Treason specifically means working with a foreign adversary during wartime. Tea with Goblin says, I wanted to say something about academic literature about the MAGA movement, but I only have one brain cell this morning and it's being eroded by these TikToks. Suffice it to say, there are already libraries worth of research on the subject. DM Trey says, do these mother effers not realize that historically the US government has used tanks and planes on the civilian population? Also look up the Blair Mountain incident. And Fennikagami says, remember the conservatives are skeptics of big government.
You said? You want those people to have absolute control and authority over you. No.
I don't want any... talking about the material reality. The federal government does have authority over you de facto because of the amount of force and money that they have behind them. If you're gonna fight that, I guess do you. I don't think it's a good idea, but if you're gonna, they're gonna fight you back and they're gonna win. Like, it is what it is. You're being foolish.
Thanks. My ancestors fled Europe to escape genocide.
Who are your ancestors?
I really don't feel like my children being subjected to that.
Irish, probably. That makes sense.
Here in America. You are out of your mind.
The U.S. government.
All right.
We're coming close to the end of this section, at least this thread, I think.
So, apparently Trump's in trouble for giving money to a porn star.
I believe he's in trouble for hiding that and making false business records in service of hiding a felony or something.
Listen, I'm a porn star, and I give all of my money to a porn star to keep her quiet. It's either that, or...
If you falsify business records in order to hide that, then that would be illegal, yes.
My gun. Whatever you want to call it. Third leg. There we go. So how long is it going to be until they charge me?
I don't know. Are you committing a crime? Are you doing the thing he did?
For the same shit. I mean,
what's my ancestry? I don't know.
I guess I should put my name on that list, huh? Ah, damn. This is getting retarded. Seriously. Dumb. When are we gonna...
My last name... The last name on my dad's side would imply German. Not sure about the other side.
We're gonna talk about the Hunter Biden laptop. When are we gonna talk about the money that Obama hid from the FCC? The $1.14 million that he hid in campaign funding. When are we gonna talk about Biden being a pedophile? Seriously.
When are you gonna provide evidence of that?
I found the comment. I had to search a little bit harder. And, sir, you couldn't be more right. Mucho respect. Scariest shit what's happening to our country. And people just don't realize it.
Raven says, if you know anything about male porn stars, you better be available to bottom in a gay video. I don't think this guy is man enough for that. Terradona says, all Trump had to do was write a personal check to avoid all this. He was just too greedy to pay.
If they would just go...
Can I speak German? Not even a little bit.
Read the history on how Germany ended up in the...
I don't know anything about Germany, or I'm not claiming to be German. It kind of annoys me when Americans are like, I'm German, or I'm Irish, and then they have like nothing to do with it. My family, part of it comes from Germany. I don't know anything about it.
The position it was in. They would realize...
Do I know shit in German? Scheiße. I do know
Textbook.
that.
What's going on in the United States right now? One of my favorite things to study, and I don't know why, when I was growing up, was Germany and how that all happened. Because I hated the persecution that happened to those people. I had to do a project on it one time when I was like in 4th grade. And then I had to learn about it.
She knows a lot about history. She learned about it in 4th grade, guys.
You really take a good hard look at how Hitler accomplished that. And then you look at what's going on in our country right now. You go, ding, 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 ding. And Trump is not the problem. Biden and the people behind him are.
Jesus Christ.
You're absolutely right. But we can definitely Bundy Ranch every single one of them.
Fucking hell. Sky Comet says he didn't put his political opponents in jail. Hitler shoved them in ghettos, shipped them to camps, and systemically murdered them. Please learn history, lady. Gitara says yes, because Trump definitely didn't talk about imprisoning his political opponents. Eye roll.
Act accordingly.
What happens when you throw 74 million voters in jail?
You didn't?
The ones of us who aren't pussies fight back.
Guys, did you know that arresting someone who was running for president is the same as arresting everyone who voted for them? Genius take. Well, so I'm sure you heard about the Supreme Court win in Wisconsin. Did you see the little hissy fit the loser had? The Republican loser had a little hissy fit because he lost the election. Not too happy. Lily Love Stuff says, I'm screaming at my phone. I hate these MAGA asshats acting like they're not supporting a literal fascist. Anyway, let's watch this guy cope and seethe.
It's like this, I would be able to concede to a worthy opponent. But I do not have a worthy opponent to which I can concede. This was the most deeply deceitful, dishonorable, despicable campaign I have ever seen run for the courts.
Wow, and you lost. What's that say? Tea with Goblin says, do you think that's because European cultures are distinct from one another, whereas a lot of white American culture, while being a sociological default, is nonetheless coded as ordinary, bland and boring because it's quote-unquote normal? Whiteness is poorly defined by virtue of being the unchallenged norm. Okay, brain cell expended. That's definitely part of it. I think some of it's also just because of the nature of America, how it is, you know, pretty much everyone here, if you're not indigenous, your family came from somewhere else, so it became a pretty common thing for people to be like, oh, where's your family from? And it just became a normal point of discussion in America. So I think people just, I don't know, we associate ourselves with that identity a lot. I personally don't, but a lot of people do. It's interesting. It annoys the fuck out of Europeans, in my experience. Which I get, but I don't know. It's a weird cultural thing in America.
It was truly beneath contempt. Now I say this not because we did not prevail. I do not say this because of the rancid slanders that were launched against me, although that was bad enough.
Profane Priestess says, the Republican Party is full of lahahoozers. Did you see where Big Gretch struck down Michigan's abortion bans? I'm getting happier and happier that the doctoral program I'm looking at is there. Yes, I did. Michigan's doing great. Hey, anyone who's a leftist, move to Michigan. We're doing a good job. And hopefully we'll continue to. And if more of you move here, then we can bolster our numbers and continue to vote for left-leaning candidates and policies.
But that is not my concern. My concern is the damage done to the institution of the courts. Yes. My opponent is a serial liar. Yes. She's disregarded judicial ethics.
I understand people can't easily move. I understand that. I get it. If you can't, you can't. That's not something most people can do. I'm saying if you're looking, and if you can, consider Michigan.
She's demeaned the judiciary with her behavior. And this is the future that we have to look forward to in Wisconsin.
What a salty bitch. I'm living for it. I'm living for it.
Had a really good conversation with a great friend last night, and she was talking about the eerie feeling that she feels. I don't know about y'all, but if you're awake, if you're a Christian and you know Bible prophecy, you know that feeling. I think that everyone around me is feeling that eerie feeling. You can't explain it. It's just a feeling of heaviness. And I don't know, discontent. I'm like, why do I need to shop for clothes? You know, stuff's fixing to happen. Like, I'm either fixing to go to heaven or we're fixing to go to war. I'm not really sure what's fixing to happen. But that's literally how I feel. Like, I need underwear. And I don't want to shop for anything. All I want to do is shop for flour, rice, and beans. I mean, do you Roger me? But
in the apocalypse, you will need underwear as well, for the record. So you get some underwear.
It's just an eerie, impatient feeling.
Are we just... was there a memo I didn't catch? Are we not wearing underwear in the apocalypse? Because I'm not comfortable with that.
That I had been feeling for a while now, just like she said. It's just a feeling that you get. And when you know, you know. So with that, I wanted to share a little something. This little guy has been in my car for a while now. This is what I call
Is this your bug out bag?
Get the hell out bag.
Bug out bag.
And so with my get the hell out bag, I recently just brought it in because I wanted to fill a few more things up, but that is to get me from place to place. Now, I work 36 miles
Look at Mad Max and tell me he wears underwear. You can't. I hope he doesn't.
From home. Town is also...
Mel Gibson's a piece of shit. But the character of Max is an attractive character.
36 miles from home. So if I need to go to the store...
Also in Fury Road. Not Mel Gibson. What's his fucking name? Why can't I remember his name?
I gotta go 36 miles. When I go to work, it's 36.
Tea with Goblin says, Hannah, did you not see No. Hannah, did you not see Mad Max will still wear underwear, but it'll be worn on the outside and it'll be spiky. Tom Hardy, that's his name.
Miles. And so this little guy is in my trunk, and if something were to happen while I was not at home, this is to get me to home. That's all. That's all. It has about 2 or 3 days of stuff in there that will get me fed, watered, reclothed, re-ammoed. And if you do not have
She's
one of these...
She's expecting to shoot a lot of people when she escapes the city, so she needs extra ammo.
You need to start building one of these. It contains everything that I bought from Amazon to Academy, Tractor Supply. I mean, I've literally just kind of threw this together. It didn't have a whole lot. Clothes, socks, a pair of good water boots, again, ammo, food. I've even got some instant coffee in that sucker. A first aid, a tent, just a canopy tent if I needed to sleep with some rope. Just something to get me home. Now, I'm pretty sure I could track 36 miles pretty dang quick if something were to blast off. But it still will be handy for me. So,
goddamn crazy people.
We should throw the district attorney in Guantanamo Bay.
Those are bold. Those are bold overalls. Lampita says, ma'am, please make room for clean underwear. Lennon Cat says, part of me wants this apocalypse to actually happen, even if just temporarily, because I want these people to realize just how unprepared they really are. The most important skill in an apocalypse is adaptation and the ability to work with others because you are never going to survive long term without other people. We are a social species. We do not sustain ourselves and live lives as individuals. We live lives within communities. The size of those communities changes, but nonetheless, basically every human in the world has lived in some kind of society, whether it's a family unit or a village or a town. You don't see a lot of people just living on their own because we're not suited for it. So yeah, your little lone wolf bag and your guns for shooting people Mad Max style, I'm sure it makes you feel very cool, but it's not how you survive if society collapsed for some reason. Ineffable Effort says it seems to be a theme that preppers can't handle to care for their daily hygiene health, but are convinced they'll suddenly become an expert at it after the apocalypse. Tea with Goblin says, it's a pretty good idea to have emergency supplies nearby. I'd agree. Having a med kit in your car, a sewing kit in your purse, a toothbrush and sanitary hygiene products and spare medication, you can't outshoot dysentery and cold. I agree. Having survival things is a good idea. Having a couple weeks worth of emergency like food and water around your house or whatever, like I think that's a good thing, because even if we're not talking about societal collapse, natural disasters happen. You never know what's going to happen. You might need extra food. Crazy stuff happens in the world. Supply chain disruption. I don't know. The point is, it's not a bad thing to have emergencies if you can. But I understand not everyone can. But if you're sitting around constantly itching for the end of the world or the end of society, that's unhealthy. That's super duper unhealthy. But yes, be prepared. That's never a bad thing. Oh, did you see this guy eat shit in front of the Trump courthouse?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh!
Oh, yeah.
McPlatypus says, that's right. The right's bug-out bags are largely security theater, like the X-ray scanners at airports, or a baby's pacifier.
It's virtually impossible for him to prove that felony.
So if this is such a tough case for him to make, why is he bringing it?
Well, I think there's no question about it that he wants to humiliate President Trump.
Got him. I'm sure you guys saw this video, right?
Getting out of hands these days.
I've had enough of this. This punishment stuff is going to stop.
Cheetar says, no, I just saw an image of them comparing Trump to MLK. Yeah.
You're not going to tell me what I'm going to do.
Have a good day, Bruiserker.
Do and not do.
I am now the alpha.
Bro. That's not how this works. I am the teacher.
The alpha takes priority over the teacher. The alpha takes priority over everything. Do you not know how that works?
The teacher is telling the alpha to sit in this seat right now.
And the alpha doesn't have to listen to orders from its lower.
Well, you don't have to listen, but the consequences that follow are going to still apply to the alpha.
The alpha doesn't take punishment.
Let's see how well that works out for you, okay?
Poor kid. I hope that kid gets his head on straight, because that kid's in a rough place. Lennon Cat says the most important aspects are having clean water, antibiotics, and basic first aid stuff. One of the symptoms that kills most people worldwide is diarrhea-induced dehydration. And Gnome Pickles says, this kid sounds special needs. I hope he gets help. It's possible. I wouldn't have showed it if that was a for sure thing, though. There's no indication that he definitely is. I don't know. Mike Banks with 50 bits. Nerd! Oh. What else we got in terms of videos before we move on to Lord of Gloop?
Ask yourself a question is why did they put that Medusa statue up on top of the criminal courthouse in January?
What?
A Medusa, they called it. Why would they erect it then and then go after my Trump? Ask yourself. People who play in the occult, they know the dark sides.
Free bird.
They know who they are talking to. Medusa spirit on the top of a criminal courthouse, coming after you. Politician, you instigated this crap. The Lord said, I'm going to reveal the prostitute that sat on your lap.
Stone Corbell says, my Trump. Oh, how romantic.
And you'll be seen, and it'll be heard. Get your house in order. I heard the Lord say, sewer, turd.
Turd.
Even if he did incite an insurrection, dare I say, so what? So what? We need an insurrection in this country. So what? We need to bring back the America that we once were.
I want to point to Boxy in the corner real quick. Give Boxy a read. We do not agree with this video or any hate speech disinformation. We're using it for educational and commentary purposes only. We do not advocate for sedition from the United States, as that is illegal.
You think they wouldn't start an insurrection? Were you not just listening to what I just showed you? So what if he did, even if that were true? The funny part is he didn't.
He did.
But even if it were true, maybe that's what we need, guys.
This is literally just the narcissist's prayer, like verbatim. Oh, he didn't do it, but even if he did, it was a good thing. Good Lord.
Every single one of you that's wearing a badge and a gun, be forewarned. We, the people, are rising. Serve us.
Sooner or later.
Serve us. It's not sooner or later. It's now. It's April 1st, 2023. And it's not by my choice. I'm escalating things.
He said it.
Because they're escalating, taking away my freedom.
They're not.
I wanted to wait till 2024. But no, they want to meddle in my election in 2023.
They're not. You lost.
Not sooner or later. Now, I'm lighting the candle. Will you join me? This is Ceausescu. He was escorted out. And he was brought by the military, who refused to fire upon the squad anymore, on the crowd anymore. And the police stood down, and the military stood down. You in the military, you need to work for us and protect us. Ceausescu was taken to the concrete wall and executed.
This isn't what's happening with Trump. He's being tried for crimes that he allegedly committed. This is what we do in this country. Okay? It's a justice system. He'll either be found guilty or not guilty on the various counts. It is what it is. He's not being taken out back and shot like Lassie. Lennon Cat says, the statue is real, apparently, in homage to the Me Too movement, warning the statue has bare breasts. I can't click on it then.
As a symbol of what I'm talking about, I want to set up a scenario where the military and the police have no choice but to execute Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, through proper process. I'm not in charge of that. I know what I'm in.
Wait, a true and proper process? Like the process that's indicting Donald Trump right now and putting him on trial?
Charge of my vote. And I think I share a lot in common with 150 million other people that don't want communism. And if we come together and we say,
what do you think communism is?
Hey, that the military and police.
DM Trey says, Ceausescu was a dictator that helped the Jewish population of Romania, or held the Jewish population of Romania hostage.
Police are to set up a law that requires, when you get overthrown by we the people and a constitutional restoration happens, that you should be swiftly brought to a concrete wall and hold a little hearing and fire away. I hope
Jesus fucking Christ.
that you listen to the people.
Oh, this is nuts. This is nuts if you haven't seen this.
And
This is the guy that started the whole Stop the Steal rally thing. Just being a nut.
Driving on reserve fuel without even knowing it. And so then I don't like to take an exit and then cross over to the gas station. So I didn't take the exit to go to the Pilot across the street because I'm Ollie Alexander, okay? I'm not doing all these other extra steps. I haven't got gas in I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but I haven't gotten gas in 3 months. Because I got people who get gas for me. I've been traveling. I've been doing a lot of Ubering. And I'm royalty. So I think I may have gotten gas once in the past 3 months. And I was very impressed with gas prices. I think have gone down. I don't even really know if they've gone up or if they've gone down or what money is or isn't or what gas is. All of this stuff seems like a psyop to me. Money, gas. I'm not totally convinced that vehicles actually need gas. It might be a mental energy thing. They might use the gas meter to hijack your psychic abilities into depleting your own car. So, it's impossible to know. It's impossible to know.
As someone who has run out of gas while driving a car, no, it'll stop when you're out of gas, I promise. I've been there. How do cars work? Is the gas real or is it just to trick your brain? Hats off. Auntie Pretzel, what do you want me to wear?
Mata.
He's not a Poe. I know him.
Come on.
Tinfoil crown? Okay. It's over here somewhere.
Let's raise up our heavenly language right now. Come on, louder, louder, louder. The future of this nation depends on you. Your children depend on you. Though they seek to arrest President Trump, we're declaring now that you arrest the enemy. Arrest the principalities and arrest those who have sought to carry out their agenda against you and President Trump in this hour.
We silence the critics. We silence those that wish to frame President Trump. We silence those that wish to lie. And we say, Congress, you stand boldly. We say, pastors, you stand boldly. For one shall become 1,000. More and more shall march around the walls of Jericho. And we say, America, you shall be saved in the name of Jesus. We declare it now, 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 in Jesus' name.
Oh, churches are scary. Just full of craziness.
This is the person that President Trump is up against and who's trying to take down the United States of America. Okay? This is who it is. This is who is coming after the United States of America. This person right here, Ms. Baphomet Hell. Okay? This Stormy Daniels.
I'm assuming that's a picture of Stormy Daniels in the middle of doing her job.
Captured, dressed as a demonic being. Okay?
Is it like a Maleficent porn parody? I'm trying to figure out what this is a parody of.
Doing the most disgusting crap you have ever seen.
Oh my god, having sex on camera? I'm sure this guy never watches that.
In your entire...
Ineffable Effort says, we laugh now, but Trump's eventually going to levitate into the air like David Tennant and defeat Biden and the Toclafane with the power of groupthink.
Our life. Dressed up in her Baphomet outfit.
Cool.
And playing the role. Was she not?
Yeah.
Who does that? Only the evil.
Mm-hmm.
Only the evil. So disgusting to me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're
That's disgusting. She's not even wearing demon wings.
up against right here. You know what I want you to do? I want you to listen. I called this morning for regime change because we're on the verge of wiping out all of humanity with the way we're going at our adversary. I don't care who it is. I'm not siding with our adversary. I'm siding in opposition to this crap right here. You rise up with me. We will put communism down like a rabid demon. This is...
North Korea is actually a very conservative society. It's very there's no such thing as a homosexual, like open homosexual in North Korea.
Sure.
No such thing as abortion. You know, the North Koreans are very conservative. They're tyrannical but conservative. Where I'm going with this is that what we're exporting, what making available to people, is a gateway to sin. And we need to, in the wake of a mentally ill epidemic, limit the access to the drug. One of the drugs here is more information about where you can change your gender, change your identity, think about life differently. No, how about we limit the access of free thought in this respect and instead raise children up in the way they must go?
I don't even think his co-host looks convinced. Even it feels like she's having a thing in her head where she's like, how did I get here? How the fuck did I get here? Oh my god. What a fucking fascist.
Who was a head of state.
Oh, we saw that one. Not sure if we had anything else from the Twitter sphere. We could probably move on to... Oh god, what was this?
Things are gonna come to light that you didn't think were true. You're gonna start seeing a lot more things that you knew were true, but you weren't told. Call me crazy if you want, but we already won this war. The sick pedophile elite, the people that are poisoning your food, the people that are poisoning your water supply. The thing that frustrates me the most out of everything in this entire world is the inability for people to use their brain. Yeah, you can sit here and learn big words and sound like you're smart, but the comprehension of what is really going on in every aspect of the world, not only political, not only this, not only... every single thing on a daily basis. People don't know how to use their brain. They're always worried about the next big word they can fucking learn, so that way they can sound fucking extremely smart. Oh, you know big words. Your comprehensive skills are just so super. You want to know what? The fact that you have to learn those words without comprehending your reality is what makes you a fool. The fact...
Words are a way of understanding reality by ascribing words to different objects, feelings, actions, events, what have you. It allows you to better define the world around you and communicate the reality of that world to other people. And yes, he did do a burp just in the middle of talking. Oh, the idea that, like, I get it. Having a big vocabulary and being overly verbose and, like, specifically trying to sound smart by using big words, I get that. That's pretentious. That can be pretentious. I am of the opinion, generally, that you should use the simplest language possible to explain what you're trying to explain. I don't always do that. I'm sure I come off as pretentious sometimes. But, you know, I'm doing my best. This idea that, like, if you have a vocabulary, though, it must be because you're dumb is odd. It's very odd. Your intelligence is not necessarily linked to your ability to know big words, but it also doesn't take away from it. It's not mutually exclusive. You can be quite intelligent and have a vocabulary, and it's fine.
The fact that you can't see what the people are doing to our children, the fact that you can't see what our government is doing to us, the fact that you won't even look it up yourself, that you just take it at a dead-ass hand, and you're like, yeah, feed me that information that you want me to learn, indoctrinate me. I don't have the ability to critical think, so you want to know what? You tell me what I'm supposed to learn, you tell me what I'm supposed to do, you tell me what I'm supposed to live like. Because I can't do it for myself. I can't critical think. I have no capabilities of doing anything whatsoever. Everybody in this fucking world does not use their mind. What is your problem? And then you gotta try insulting other people to make yourself feel a little bit better about your day so you can put your head down on your pillow at night. When you can actually open your mind and your eyes and your ears to things that matter, that's when you'll matter. The thing that...
Genius. Oh god, are we gonna... Hold on, let me move some stuff so we can see. I don't know how much of this we're gonna watch, to be honest with you. Because it's probably gonna be real bad. Some of you may have already seen this. Jake apparently had a conversation with Lord of Gloop. Let's see if he embarrasses himself. Oh, also, he gets super drunk afterward, which we will take a look at. He did a whole video that's 43-second long, and it's just actual Jake, you are a cuck, is the name of the video. Hydrate.
Hey, Jake, how we doing?
Oh, God, this is
He drops an F slur, do you know where?
terrible quality. You sure you don't want to use Discord, my dude? What mic is this using? Is it going through your fucking, not your studio mic?
Should be using my normal mic, but
30 minutes in, we probably won't get that far.
Oh, okay, that's why. All right, hold on. Okay, now I should be better.
Oh, that's so much better. Soothing.
All right.
You can request that this one isn't just yelling about you when you can't speak for yourself. Yes. Okay. So, do you want to talk about the topic of polyamory?
Why it doesn't work? Sure.
Sure. Are you showing me on your screen?
Yes, I actually am.
Hell yeah. Thanks. Okay. So, have you ever been in a polyamorous relationship?
No.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. So, what is your experience with polyamory?
It's where two people that are together.
No. I mean your experience with it. I think you, it's when you date more than one person, right? You have more romantic interaction with more than one person. No. I mean, what's your experience with it? Like, do you know anybody that's in them?
Yeah.
Who? Like I'm wondering where your experience, negative experience of them is.
My negative experience?
Yeah.
I don't have to know anyone to, and I'm not going to say their names due to the fact that they have kids.
Sure. You don't have to.
But I'll perfectly explain the reasons why I don't think it works is human nature. Jealousy has a huge way of rearing its ugly head. Now, I will say a polyamorous relationship between one man and women has a slightly better chance of working.
Why? What?
But when a dude starts staring at a chick, game over. It's done. It's over.
Do you want to talk about jealousy? Because that seems to be like the crux of your position.
Well, jealousy generally rears its ugly head.
And so, what if no one's jealous? Is it fine then? Is it going to work?
Look, I don't give a damn what consenting adults do.
Right.
Okay? I just think it's a bad idea.
I just don't.
I just think you're setting yourself up for failure.
Okay. Why?
Because usually polyamorous relationships
Is Dave just Jake's Peter? You're never gonna get through to him. What's the point?
End in failure.
He's hopeless. Like, I talk to Peter because I find him interesting. I don't think I'm gonna change anything about him. You can't change him, Jake. Not worth it.
What is...
Tea with Goblin says, am polyamorous, have been in a polyamorous relationship for nearly 14 years now. Jealousy's a thing, but it's not something that can't be worked through. Dave is just an insecure piss baby.
Name me, okay, name me a successful one.
What is this?
Jake just likes bullying, to be honest. That's true.
Without
using
yourself.
But
Without
okay,
using
sure.
yourself.
Yeah.
Name me a successful polyamorous relationship.
I mean, I know lots of poly people. I'm a leftist, and a lot of them are successful.
Overthought says, let Jake play with his Peter. He enjoys it.
What's successful to you? What does that mean to you?
Okay, name me one that's lasted...
No.
Well, okay, again, I have to go from your personal anecdotes. Name me one.
Well, I'm going off yours, right? You
Name
just have
me
a
one.
you just have a gut feeling that this doesn't work.
It
You
doesn't.
you're not appealing to any. No, you're
Okay,
literally
then
just
why
asserting
isn't it
it.
more widespread?
Why isn't it? What do you mean? Why is it poly? Because it's not for everybody. Not everybody has to live that way, and also, obviously, monogamy is socialized to be the dominant way to go about
No,
it. Right?
it's that way because human beings are hardwired for that.
That's not true. You would
Yes, it
disagree
is.
about that. Would you agree that men are hardwired to be monogamous?
We're less hardwired, but if we actually do make the mistake...
What does hardwired mean? If you say less, hardwired sounds to me like a binary option. It's either hardwired, so that's a no. You can't... Whatever.
Falling in love
that's what I
with a woman.
thought. Wait,
then yes,
that's
we're
fascinating.
definitely... We're way more hardwired at that point
Okay.
to be monogamous.
Can we go back to the mistake of falling in love with somebody?
Yeah, I think it's a mistake for men to completely go head over heels in love.
And why is that?
It ruins...
Who hurt you, Dave?
The best thing about being man.
I say that as if it probably wasn't his own fault. Whatever relationship that fell apart that he's basing his misogyny off of.
That's being objective. Because men are ruled by logic, women are ruled by emotions.
Can men please stop saying this? I know not every man says this, but any man who does say this, please stop. It's demonstrably untrue. Please cease.
Do you believe that you're logically coming to the conclusion that polyamorous relationships don't work?
Based on the evidence, yeah.
What evidence do you purport to have?
Again, name me one successful
Okay, so is that
poly
evidence?
couple without using yourself or a personal anecdote. Because the only one that I can think
what
of...
What would a personal anecdote... So it has to be someone that we both know?
No, just something, a celebrity, something...
Y2 Yasmin says, men are ruled by logic, says the man who screams anytime he's wrong at all, in any capacity whatsoever, and is currently getting angry at the smallest pushback.
News...
Celebrity or a newsworthy polyamorous couple?
Yeah, because there's only one that actually made the papers, and it did not end
Made the papers? How old are you, Dave? What the fuck? Made the papers? What's in the papes today, Chief? The fuck? Oh. Gnome Pickles says, as a DC fanboy, I have proof that men are not ruled by logic and are overly emotional. Mention the New 52 and watch us fall apart. McPlatypus says, Dave's whole personality is built on little quips like that. He says several the things throughout this. Dr. Gamble with 100 bits.
Game. Did you ask any girls to try out your game? I ask because they are blissfully less logical than us guys. I am very logical myself, but also very emotional. So it was easy for me to find the game annoying. What happened is that your game frustrated me. I felt like I was being taken into someone else's hallways, doors and plans to deliver me an experience that didn't touch me. And worst of all, I had absolutely no free will in the game. No way to change anything, no impact, no power. I accomplished nothing.
That's kind of the point. It's kind of the agency or lack thereof is kind of the point of the Stanley Parable.
People play games because of what they can do inside them, and your game is very good at letting them know they can't do anything. Other things I didn't like were the amount of narrator dialogue too much, and that Stanley is repeated all the time by the narrator.
Holy shit, people are stupid. I'm not saying you need to like the Stanley Parable. I just don't think that person understood it. It's fine to not like it. I would appreciate if you at least got what it was trying to do, even if you don't like it.
Why does it have to why does it have to make the papers for it to be a thing that none of my relationships have been in the papers?
Because here's the thing, if we just trade...
What?
Here's the link, if someone wanted it to look for the slur to make sure we don't...
What is that fucking...
Someone said it was about 30 minutes in. I don't know if you can, like, Control F the transcript. Lennon Cat says, science requires reason and logic, but humans are very emotional and illogical. That's fine. Our primary way of interacting with the world and each other is through feelings, and this talk from the right about logic and reason as the only credible way to discuss things really irritates me. What annoys me is that when they say logic, what they mean is utilitarianism, or some sort of, like, emotionless apathy towards suffering. They don't really mean logic, they just mean the absence of empathy.
This is my experience versus this is my experience. We're wasting each other's time. And I'd like to get back to
right,
my
but
show
you
then.
appealed to logic. You appealed to logic. So I'm asking, and you appealed to evidence and logic. What are your pieces of evidence that aren't asking me a question? Evidence at all? And
do you know why the founders never bothered to address slavery in the Constitution?
Oh boy! Oh god! Oh no! What? Oh no!
Because it was beneficial monetarily
No, it was
for
dying.
the union.
No, it was dying. No, it was dying.
It wasn't.
It went on for like another 100 years.
Yes,
They were-
it was.
they were centralized
was too,
on cash
no,
cropping.
Slavery was
Why are we
too
talking about this?
expensive. Slavery was too expensive to be
Slavery
largely profitable. Then
holy shit, Dave's an idiot.
Slavery got too expensive in the end of the market on it.
No,
yes.
no, slavery in 1795
But it was
when we did our
highly
second
profit.
when we did our
1795
second
is
U.S. government.
Yes.
Jake,
After
let
the
me finish my
Constitutional
fucking
Congress.
point.
That XY girl says, didn't Jake major in history education? He did.
You're not making
Let me finish
a
my
point.
point. Let me finish
You're
my
being,
point. Let
you're
me
just saying
finish my
slavery
point.
wasn't that bad because you want to be edgy, and it's like really weird. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Dr. Gamble says, it is now I'd like to remind everyone that Jake was a history major.
In
Have your emotional
1795
tirade. Do you want to talk about the topic we were talking about?
In 1795, when we... No, I'm proving you wrong. In
You're not proving me
1795,
wrong.
when we did our second U.S. government... By the way,
wasn't that 1789? Was when the Constitution was ratified after getting rid of the Articles of Confederation.
You're aware there's two.
The Articles of Confederation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
the reason we didn't...
Chromatic Cuttlefish says, didn't it take another 75 years in the bloodiest war in U.S. history to see off chattel slavery? It did!
Address the slavery problem was slavery was dying because it wasn't profitable. Okay. And I'm fine with you making that choice, but again, you made a choice
what are you mad about?
Very few ever get to make.
That's not true. This kind of job has existed for fucking centuries. It's just a little bit different now.
Like what?
It's just entertainment. This is what
an
literally
entertainer's job. Really?
This is an entertainment job, yeah. What?
How many failed stand-up comedians have there been? How many failed
I
actors?
don't know.
How
What
many
the
failed
fuck does that
actresses?
mean?
My point is there's been a lot more failed entertainers than there have ever been successful entertainers.
Are you accusing me of being a successful entertainer, Dave?
Don't accuse Jake of that. Don't accuse any Twitch streamer of that.
What I'm saying is you're an elite.
Are you accusing me of being a successful entertainer, Dave?
Well, you obviously are. You're an elite.
Fucking thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
I mean, I disagree
appreciate
with
that,
you,
Dave.
and I, but
but you realize that
that's
I got charisma, and you like talking to me. We should talk more often.
No, Dave actually smiled. This is the happiest I've ever seen him.
can dodge me so much. It can be easy.
Jake, I like fucking talking to you about as much as I enjoy getting a fucking urethra.
Getting a urethra?
Getting a urethra. He botched that. Jesus.
You don't know what
What's
that is.
I don't know what getting a urethra means. No.
That's getting something stuck up your dick.
Getting a urethra. Is he talking about sounding?
I do not, Dave. I appreciate your bad guy laughter there, Dave. I'm sorry to inform you that.
Please make that face an emote. No.
Getting a urethra is in fact not getting something shoved up your dick. That's not what it's called.
Well, whatever it is, I enjoy it about as much as I enjoy you.
You enjoy getting, I believe you're thinking of the word like, the act would be sounding, I believe, but maybe like a catheter, and it goes up your urethra, which is the tube that extends from the...
He meant catheters? Gotcha.
Head of your penis into your glands below. You knew that, right?
I don't know. I don't care.
Oh, fuck, man. Wow. I've never... This is why I advocate for sex ed, okay? This moment right here is why I advocate for it. Because, Dave, like, that's a big moment for me. That's eye-opening to me.
What?
You have the confidence of a man who fancies himself well informed.
Better informed than you. You're the idiot that thinks polyamory works.
I just told you how your dick worked.
And you're the idiot that thinks polyamory works.
Yes.
Or
socialism. And I use my
works.
dick in the process. I execute it. I successfully. Me. I'm not one of those fucking guys that you would accuse of being like some kind of alpha. Right? Nonetheless, here I am, enjoying the spoils of my masculinity.
And
so explain me.
And letting your soon-to-be wife openly cheat on you.
Dave, we have fucked together women.
Okay.
Does that excite you?
Oh, God.
Not really.
My experience is not her going off to fuck people.
Dave, if you're gonna talk shit about me to me. Shut the fuck up otherwise. Thank you.
She wants to be a part of it.
Lennon Katz is not cheating if those are the rules of the game.
Yeah. I don't understand why you're so obsessed with it.
Anyway, I'm sure you can watch the rest of this on Jake's channel, but I did want to show the aftermath of this, and Dave is just absolutely fucking trashed, and I want to see... This is what Jake does to a fucker, apparently. This is what dealing with Jake does.
Well, the last live broadcast was, well, mostly a debate. But I encourage you to watch it.
He looks like he's got an antenna like Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because it proves a point that I've been making for a while. Leftists just can't move from their fucking position. There is no way that you're just gonna get actual Jake to admit that he's a cock. You let your bitch have sex with other people. You're a cock.
So that's Dave. Lovely. Oh boy. You know who we haven't covered in a while? You guys remember Undead Chronic? The MGTOW misogynist weirdo? See what he's been up to.
So this is from Fox News. The title says, "I'm Gen Z. Men in my generation are not dating. Why should we?" What?
Oh boy, a Fox News opinion piece. I'm sure this is fair and balanced. McPlatypus says, my favorite part was when they got into Dave's alcohol intake and Dave unironically said, I can quit anytime I want, and then him drinking 10 of those beers a day was not a problem. Yikes. Chromatic Cuttlefish says, fun etymology fact, the word elite and elect are both derived from the Latin verb eligo, meaning to choose or select. So any politician in a democracy is, by definition, a member of the elite.
Why should they date, Hammerhand?
I don't have an earthly reason why they should date. They're getting fucked at every turn. And not literally. Not in a good sense.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is for Pugniti.
Well, not even.
I hate so much that he says, quote-unquote, puniti. It's one of his worst qualities.
Not even. I wouldn't even put that one on the table because now there's such an indemnity that's tied to it. There's just no way. I could never trust it.
I bet like 10% of the dudes thinking they're trying to date for Pugniti, you go back to the girl's house and they undress and Pugniti.
It wouldn't surprise me. You know, I mean, bitches are really mean and nasty today. And...
No, I was going to...
The irony of that statement, quote-unquote, bitches are really nasty these days. Oh, projection. Lennon Cat says, in the words villain and villager used to mean the same thing, which was just villager. Oh, that's interesting.
I say they had a penis.
I know. Well, that's part of it.
I would do like a triple rotation out of the window.
I just put my fucking clothes on and leave. I mean, fuck y'all. See you later. This is not a thing. And
I assure you that no trans woman wants to sleep with you. None of us.
Stop trying to make it a thing.
We had a meeting about it. We specifically showed your video and went, this guy's fucking gross. No one wants to sleep with him, right? And everyone said no.
63% of men aged 18 to 29 say they're single, as Gen Z men have given up on dating. Uh-oh. You know what's funny? It's like...
63% from 18 to 29 doesn't sound that crazy. Including people in between relationships, that's really not that bad for people in their 20s. That sounds pretty standard to me, quite honestly. It might be lower than in previous generations, but that's a good thing. It means people aren't being forced into marriages at a young age that they don't want like they were in the past. That's why boomers hate their spouses so much, is because they got married at 18.
When this stat came out, I made like, I think it was a month ago, this first paper came out. I made like 3 or 4 segments with Chaz, and all of them got over like 30, 40K views.
Oh,
and I just told
them,
them, like, this is going to blow up. Everybody's going to talk about this. And here it is, Fox News talking about this.
Yeah. CNN had it on the other day.
Oh, yep. All across America, marriage, sexuality, and relationships are on the steady decline among young people. According to a new Pew Research study, 63% of men aged 18 and 29 report being single. That means the number of single young men is nearly twice that of single young women, indicating a large breakdown of the social, romantic, and sexual lives of American men. The big question is why?
Maybe stop being shit. The amount of men that are stopping themselves from getting into relationships and or like sexual interactions just because they're misogynistic dickheads, they don't understand. Do they not understand that they are the fault of it's their fault? Like, if you're not getting any, it's probably on you.
Gee, I wonder who instigated all that. I mean, Garley, I don't know.
Everybody's concerned about this. The women are concerned because it means less simp attention. And being single...
I don't think women are generally concerned about this. Every woman I've ever heard talk about this subject has basically said the same thing as I do, which is like, oh, I'm glad people have more choice. Men shouldn't be such shit. It is what it is.
Isn't the real stat that's a killer? I think 60% of young men are single, but half of that, so 30% of those men are not looking for dates. That's
okay. That's cool.
What freaks out the woman.
I'm gonna say.
Does it? I don't think it does. Do you think women don't have enough random men sliding into their DMs trying to hit on them? Do you think women are bereft of choice in terms of random assholes hitting on them?
say right now, congratulations to those young men. Hopefully they made that choice and they have...
Gnome Pickle says, the fault truly is in our stars, or is it that I refer to women as bitch? Is the fault truly in our stars, or is it that I refer to women as bitches, and men who are disgusted by me I call simps? Truly a mystery for the ages.
Been pushed into a box. Congratulations to them for finding value outside of a pussy hole. Congratulations.
One would think that making romantic connections would be easier than ever in our digital world.
Lennon Cat says, I remember seeing a video on this. It had to do with the fact that women are no longer financially required to be with a man to have a place to live or have the money to meet their basic needs. Before, men just had to have a job, and now men have to bring more to the table than just financial stability. Right, and a lot of men have decided, instead of developing personalities and understanding that women are human beings, have decided to retreat into the manosphere and decide that for some reason that they should get their dick sucked just for existing and having a job.
The digital world has basically...
Guys, the bar is not that high. I need them to understand the bar is so low. The bar is so fucking low and you can't even get over it.
Turn the 80-20 rule. Like when dudes say 80-20 to me, I'm like, dude, no, it's like 95-5.
No, it's like 95-5, yeah.
What? Yasmin, quote, pussy hole. I've never been so disappointed in a man. I had literally no expectations for before.
The opposite is true. Our culture of convenience is paradoxical.
Are all these guys creeps? Yes. The ones on this video? Yes. And to be clear, I know that my audience is, I think statistically my audience is actually mostly men, which is kind of surprising to me when I look at my analytics. I'm not telling you you're wrong or shitty for being a guy. I'm certainly not doing that. I am saying this type of misogynistic dude, bro. I hope you understand that. Not trying to shit on you for no reason.
Made dating more difficult.
All the based men in my chat are fucking kings, okay? And I'm not talking about you here.
For men, as they are forced into a hyper-competitive, superficial environment that emphasizes instant gratification over true human connection. That's what happens when you give women sexual freedom.
That's correct.
They want the biggest,
Give women sexual freedom. Think about the connotations of that sentence. This is what happens when you give women sexual freedom. The implication of that sentence is, in order to basically have myself serviced sexually, we need to enslave women or pressure them socially into needing to have sex with men in order to sustain themselves, in order to live their lives. Basically, coercively, on a societal level, forcing women to be with abusive or shitty men just so they can live their lives. Treating women like sex slaves, basically. Chromatic Cuttlefish says, one of the most unusual things about Western societies in the 21st century, historically speaking, is that women can be economically independent, which means they don't have to get married in order to survive, which is an amazing and beautiful thing. Everyone should have the agency to be able to do things on their own if that's what they'd like to do. Unfortunately, these people don't think that they can hack it in a relationship with people, and they probably can't because they're under-socialized misogynists, basically. Screaming at the Radio says, and also that women's freedom is men's to give. Yeah, freaky. Gitara says, my girlfriend makes way more money than me. Sounds like a skill issue for these guys, to be honest. True.
The only women that don't want that are those culturally trained to go for marriages. Right?
And who's doing that anymore? Nobody.
Few. When I say Christians, I mean like 3%.
Die-hard Christians now.
Yeah.
They would be called zealots.
Yeah, they'd be called zealots. They'd be roasted, all that stuff. Most Christians are Chinos, Christian in name only. I saw this clip, dude, and it was this pastor on one of those stupid like podcasts with like 5 thoughts. They're tatas hanging out, and the argument was, he's like, I think if there's a girl out there who wants to do OnlyFans, think about your husband and kids. They don't want you putting your hoo-ha on the internet. And one of the OnlyFans girls was like, I'm a Christian, and like you're judging, so what would your kids think about you? And I have an OnlyFans.
That was on that whatever podcast. I saw that. I saw that.
People can do whatever they want with their bodies. If they want to sell pictures or video of themselves, that's their business. They're not owned by their partners or their children. It's no one else's business.
I couldn't be invited on that podcast because I would start another crusade at that table. I would break the table with my fist. I'm like, you are not a Christian.
I saw that. That's not. You're not a Christian. It doesn't matter what you think you are. You're not a Christian.
I would like.
That's it.
I would like put like LED lights behind my orbits so my eyes would glow, and I would stand up and start floating with some wires. I'd be like, "Vessel of Lilith, do not defile the name of the Lord." The girls sit up right around the screen. I just smack the table and breaks it.
Lilith is the demon that Christians think causes wet dreams. Thanks, Occult. Tea with Goblin says, I'm old enough to remember severe iterations of this same tired argument. I remember shitty articles about lonely and isolated young men back in the mid-2000s, and I dimly recall the backlash to girl boss corporate feminism of the 90s, which Pearl clutched about men being robbed of their provider role. Even back during the suffragette movement, men were whining about women being too independent. History doesn't repeat, but it does echo. I like it rhymes.
I'm like bleeding from my eyes and my fists. I'm like,
you know, a lot of the episodes that they have on there, you know, the kid that hosts that podcast. Well, he's not a kid. The young man that hosts that
like
podcast. Yeah, I know. Next to me, most of them do, but he's pretty intelligent. You know,
I'm sensing a lot of insecurity about their masculinity, is what I'm getting from this. Fennikagami says, as a cis, straight, white, monogamous-based king, I just want to say I do not claim these losers who are afraid of confident women who have autonomy. I know. And people in my chat, I'm sure all of you believe the same thing.
No, he's not bad. It's just
he's pretty quick and he's reasonable. You know, he's mostly reasonable. I haven't heard him say anything that I would consider to be really trad cuckish or blue pillish.
Did he just use the term trad cuck? I don't even know what that means.
That podcast invited me on for a discussion with some thoughts. It was funny. I didn't even respond to the email.
Yeah, no
like,
thanks.
Do you know my
on
channel,
that one.
bro? Do you know my channel? Like, I'm not trying to. No way.
Yeah.
Continuing. While there are several potential culprits causing this relationship breakdown, nothing has done more damage to the dating landscape than dating apps, social media, and pornography.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
What do dating apps and social media give women? Sexual freedom.
Well, sexual freedom, yeah.
Wait, what? You think social media is the thing that has caused women to have quote-unquote sexual freedom? Oh my god, they're so dumb.
Choice. The ability to go outside of your little town, your local area, your city, to be flown into Dubai to have somebody shit in your mouth. You know that.
What?
That's what it has given them. So yeah, that's not true. Those are the symptoms. They're not the root cause.
And being
you know, all the women out there that randomly get solicitations from princes from Dubai to shit in your mouth.
Trad cucks, I say pornography.
I just get unsolicited dick pictures. Don't know about you.
Pornography is a replacement good for a loyal woman.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's
you know,
an
the harder they,
it's an inferior good. But when you compare pornography to soulless thoughts, it's a superior replacement good.
Well, who does less damage to you? Right? They say that pornography rewires your brain. I'm not entirely sold on that. I'm really not. I think that it's just scare tactics to try to get people to go out there and mate and participate in this fucked up system, you know, personally. But I can see how it, you know, kind of fucks with your ability to relate to other people.
Thanks, Poco Current.
So I see that. But you know, which one of these does more damage to you? Just outright use of pornography, or the broad that takes your kids from you, takes your shit from you, cheats on you, throws all your shit out, gaslights you every single day, 5 times a fucking day?
Here's the decision, Hammerhand. Put yourself in the shoes of an 18-year-old man.
Yes, sir.
Would you rather be forced to wake up due to your addiction and beat off to furry hentai for 3 hours every morning from 4 to 7 before you go to work and live life. Or
you're getting up at 4 in the morning to beat off to furry hentai? I would say that's probably a problem. If you're spending 3 hours a day doing it, that's a problem.
Marry a woman, have a son with her, and then you divorce and she castrates your son.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well,
they just make up not even just straw men, straw villages, straw cities, straw worlds where things happen that just don't happen in the real world.
You know, I mean, if I have to beat off to hentai for 3 hours, I guess I'll choose that one.
Make sure you get some high quality lotion, I guess is my advice to those guys. Let's continue. Let's start with dating apps. The advent of relationship websites started with Match.com in 1995 and evolved into swipe-based platforms we know today with Tinder and Hinge, releasing in 2012 and Bumble in 2014. I went on a date with a Hinge girl last week, bro.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. Let's go through the red flags, which were
not
listed on the profile.
You went on a date? Why? You're supposed to, like, be MGTOW.
Daddy problems.
Of course.
Went to jail overnight once. Got prego in the past.
So all of this on the first date?
This was in the first 30 minutes, bro.
Wow.
And the last one that I was just like, it's like the other ones I'm like, oh, easy lay. And the last one's just like effing OnlyFans. I was just like, instantly, I'm like, I'm not even gonna beg this chick.
No. I mean, if you've got an OF, I'll pay for my part of the check and see you later.
She paid for my coffee though, so that was cool.
Well, that was
dodged a bullet.
That was sweet of her to pay for your coffee. She probably makes good money throwing her pussy all over the internet.
She was wooing me. She showed me her like thing. She had like 10,000 subs on OnlyFans, bro.
Stone Corbell says this definitely really happened.
Making some
Congrats. She's making money.
I know. She's making like, no, was it 10,000? No, forgot what it was. She's making like $10,000 a month. That's what it was.
You want an OnlyFans story?
Yes.
I don't believe that guy is capable of getting a date with someone who makes $10,000 a month on OnlyFans. Just straight up don't believe that happened. I think he completely manufactured that story.
I'll tell you an OnlyFans story right now, and you can jump back to that.
Because that would be in like the top 1% of OnlyFans people. Like that would be very, very high.
Who Jenna Ortega is?
She the
little Wednesday girl.
Oh, Hammerhand. Let me sit for a moment.
Yes.
I would sacrifice
the little Wednesday girl. Isn't she an adult? She's in her 20s, right? What the fuck? She's definitely too young for you either way, but calling her a girl is definitely not a good look.
Everything west of the Mississippi to California.
Yeah.
To bang that chick.
Okay. I know a girl that looks remarkably...
Like, do they not understand that this is their problem? They only see women as sex objects. This is the problem. This is their problem. Like, if you met that actress in real life, she would think you're fucking disgusting. Because you're disgusting. Tea with Goblin says, hey Hannah, some of us have schedules to stick to. 4 to 7 is hentai flapping. 7:15 breakfast, adrenochrome bagels. 8 a.m. is Marxist Pilates, followed by sounding. 11 a.m. meeting with the trans hive mind to go over next week's child recruitment agenda. 2 p.m. lunch, Tide Pods and sushi. 3 p.m. church burning until we knock off at 5 for a drink in the staff room orgy.
Like her.
Latina?
And she's on OnlyFans.
Goth
so, yeah, she can pretty much be anything that you want her to be. She's 5 foot tall. She's 105 pounds, and she's built in all the right fucking places, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what she doesn't tell people on her OF is that she's got 5 kids. She's got 5 fucking kids. And, you know, I don't keep up with her anymore because she jumped off the ideological cliff back in 16, and I just got tired of listening to her shit. But my kid's mother mentions her name every once in a while, says, yeah, so how's what's-her-face doing after she mentions her? And, well, she's got a fucking OnlyFans, man.
How's
Windmill
Puniti doing?
I guess, because... Let me tell you something. 5 kids coming through that little ass frame right there. She has nothing to do with 3 of them, you know. And it's got and these kids were in their middle teens when she abandoned them. So I mean, it's a completely fucked up situation. But that's what you're getting on OnlyFans. That's the only kind of bitch that is going to be on OnlyFans. They're not righteous. They're not good. They're not decent. They use and use and use.
What?
Yeah. So
fucking use? What are you talking about? They're providing a service. They're providing a service and product to people. That's it. They don't owe you anything.
Yeah, if she gave me 5 kids and submitted, I'd give her the world.
Look, if that was the case, but that's not what you're getting. Not what you're going to get. No.
I have to fight off banker.
Hey, Catalina Gearbox, how you doing?
Knocking on my door at 2 a.m, try to get another round. I'd be like, "You're on my property. I'm in a stand your ground state. Say one thing that triggers me."
Oh yeah.
Well, you're not going to use that clip. It's a magazine. Boom, 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 boom. I'm triggered.
You did not make the distinction there, sir.
Okay, back to the article. According to a survey of 6,000 adults, 53% of adults aged 18 to 29 have found someone to date through an app or a website. So yeah, half of all relationships start on apps, guys.
I mean, that's not crazy. People do probably majority of their social interaction online these days. It's certainly what they use to set up in-person social interaction.
However, that's why, like, when I find girls on apps, it's a smash and dash. If I actually wanted a girlfriend, I do the cold approach.
Well, that's really stupid. People don't generally like you coming up to them in public and hitting on them.
However, new census data shows that the U.S. marriage rate hit an all-time low in 2019. Okay, Hammerhand, it's time.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Marriage isn't an inherent good for everyone. It's fine that people aren't getting married as often.
Yes, for every 1,000 unmarried adults, only 33 got married. Oh wow.
That is a catastrophic number.
Yikes.
Why?
Wow.
Why is that catastrophic?
Wow.
The number was 35 a decade ago and much higher at 86%. Why are you saying 86%? 86% of 1,000? So it's
something's not right.
Let's just assume it dropped the way I want it to drop. In 1970, it was 860 people for every 1,000 got married. Now it's 33. Ooh, man. Yikes.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad news. What does that tell you? I mean, outright statistic.
That the institution of marriage isn't something that people see as a requirement anymore, but instead something they can do if they'd like to in a long-term relationship.
That tells you that marriage and relationships are dead. They're deceased.
Human relationships are dead, guys. I don't know if you know this. 200,000 years of human civilization, and we've decided to give up on romantic relationships.
They're done.
And they're not coming back like under Chronic 16. I'm telling you that. Now, this is a Gen Z guy writing this article. He's definitely tradcon because he blames pornography.
Yeah.
So that explains his next viewpoint. He says, it's easier for men to date thanks to technological conveniences.
He's an idiot. That's one of the dumbest fucking things that you can say in this arena.
It's easier for the top men to date. But like back in 1970, if you're like a 5 or 6 out of 10 and you cold approach 20 girls, at least you get like 2 or 3 dates. If you're a 5 out of 10 on a dating app, you have to swipe 1,000 times before you get a match.
Like one.
Yep.
Like one. You're legit there. You might get 10 out of 1,000, maybe.
He says this technology has created a counterintuitive situation, leading them to have a fickle attitude towards relationships, constantly searching for the next thing instead of committing to one person. That is not the experience of the average man on dating apps.
No, he's got it completely backwards.
The women want to match with the top men, and the top men, after seeing how easy it is to get women, do not commit. This chick was like 5 foot with C cups.
I don't... when people like this talk about this stuff, it's all people consensually agreeing to interact with each other. And they treat it like it's a problem. Like, who cares? If people pick certain people on dating apps, that's their right to do so. There's no problem here for you to fix. It's none of your fucking business. Gnome Pickles says, Every single dude making the complaint that women don't respond to their dating profiles have an About Me section full of slurs and whining. How don't they see that that is a problem they have? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know.
And huge lips, sexy as hell, could be a model. 0% of me wanted to commit to her.
Yeah, bro. I mean, what's the other overarching statistic here? Is that like 5, maybe 10% of the men are fucking 80% of the women. And
if they were, who would care? Who cares? So, none of your business, even if that was the case. They bandy around that statistic, and it has to do specifically with dating apps. I don't think that necessarily translates one-to-one to real life, but even if it did, who cares? It's none of your fucking business if that was the case. Like, that's not a crisis, that's people making decisions of their own free will. You are not owed a sex partner. Lennon Cat says, the problem is that it's not that it's consensual activity to them. The problem for them is that the consensual activity isn't happening for them because they're awful people. Well, that sounds like a them problem.
And everybody else is out in the cold.
I mean, male STD rates have stayed stable the past decade, but female STD rates have skyrocketed.
Exploded.
How does that happen?
They've exploded because you're fucking the same guys. They're all fucking.
Maybe you should get some stroke game.
Fucking the same guy.
And stop being misogynist would probably be the number one.
They're in the same sexual pool.
Yeah, and there's not enough chlorine for a lifeguard chronic to put in the pool to clean it out.
No.
If they want a BJ, just get on Grindr. I wouldn't want to subject the gay community to these men. No one deserves that.
No.
With the abundance of choices on dating apps, just that sentence, bro.
It's stupid.
Most men don't have a choice on dating apps.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
Young men are finding it difficult to build deeper connections with a single person due to the sense of constant availability. So really, the perspective that feminists and tradcons have when they want to blame men, they're looking at Chad. Chad is 5-10% of men, maybe, and it's a spectrum, a continuum.
Gitara says, what bothers me with men like this is that they're trying to make women shoulder most of the blame for all these stats related to heterosexual monogamous relationships, even though men are also a part of the relationship. I honestly have never found dating that hard, and I'm not the best looking or richest of cis men. These men complain about a problem that starts with them. Also, again, skill issue. 100%. 100%. There are people who, for instance, find issue approaching people, even on the internet, right? Like, let's say a dating app. There are certainly people, men, who maybe just aren't open and social, right? That happens, and that is an issue, because confidence is key when it comes to finding people that you want to go out on dates with and stuff, and maybe seeing if they're attracted to you as well. A lot of that's confidence, and a lot of that's the way you speak and the way you communicate with people, which I guess these people don't understand. So some people just maybe have a deficit of the ability to, you know, get their foot in the door in terms of meeting someone. That's just a sociability thing, like being able to socialize with people. But other than that, it's mostly just not being an asshole. Like, I think inherently most people want to like each other. Like, even if it's not a romantic thing, I think people want to be friends with the people they meet, or at least friendly, you know? So there's... I would argue things are on your side even if people aren't attracted to you. People don't generally want to be dicks. But if you're a dick, and these guys are dicks, what do you think's gonna happen? Stone Corbell says they need to get off the I-word forums and MGTOW sites. They're engaging in digital self-harm by hyperfixating on this stuff. They're existing in a group of fantasy worlds they've created with other men on these forums. They'll never recover as long as these sites exist. Agreed. XY Girl says, U-Haul lesbians who met online, rise up. Me and my wife. Occult Comics says, they are on Grindr, I promise you. I've been DM'd by people like this all the time. Things I've noticed. 1, they don't wash their dicks. 2, they blame literally everything on everyone else. 3, they're not just in denial, they're under the fucking river. 4, they call me nothing but slurs when they're trying to hit on me. It's actually astounding how little self-awareness is in them. Jesus Christ. I'm really sorry. Block those fucking people. What assholes.
There's guys who are kind of like Brad, Chad Light. Don't get much attention, but they can still get girls. There's like guys who are like a 6 out of 7 with like with big biceps and whatever it is. They get like, you know, a couple dates a week. They wanted, but at least half of men, nothing. Go on the dating subreddit and look up the term, I'm deleting my dating apps. All men. No dates. Nothing.
Yeah.
Thousands of posts.
I feel like the difference here is that if a group of women were talking about the fact that they can't get a date or haven't found anyone, they'd probably just recommend, like, good vibrators to each other instead of saying, like, hey, shouldn't we force people to date us? Or complain that people have choice? So crazy.
Yeah, it's bad fucking news out.
Lennon Cat says, I've known quite a few of these guys who are very successful at dating apps or with women in general. Nearly every one of those men is charismatic, friendly, and kind people. Weird fact I happened to learn about my father was that he was a very successful at dating when younger. It was because he was a funny guy who was nice to everyone and was confident enough to talk to women. Yeah, a lot of it's just confidence and not being an asshole. Being funny's a bonus. Have you considered being a streamer online and having fans reach out to you because they're thirsty for you? Ineffable Effort says, I could massage my Tinder profile to get way more matches. The thing is, I don't actually want people to match with me if they legit wouldn't want to. I've had people tell me they're willing to try to be attracted to me. No thank you. Who would want that? Yeah. Not worth it.
Out there for a lot of folks, man.
He says,
I'm just saying, both Jake and I found our partners because we're online streamers. Maybe it'll work for you.
When a minor red flag appears in a relationship that is...
You're all thirsty for me. It's like you're in the Sierra Desert, and I'm in an ice-cold glass of water.
Otherwise going smoothly. Why stick around?
I get it. I'm very attractive. I'm charismatic, I'm funny, I'm smart. Who could resist? But I'm taken.
Work it out when thousands of other choices are ready at your fingertips. Young men are making that calculation every day on dating apps and siding with the latter. How can you blame them with the constant programming coming from social media? So men being programmed from social media is why there's no marriages happening? Every feminist... Cons are feminists.
I do read at least a 5th grade level. That's true. That's a big one. I can read. Ineffable Effort says I could massage... No, I just read that one. Sorry, there was another one further down. Occult says, I've been told they really love Slurs with their whole chest. I outright told the dude, hey, don't call me that. It's really insulting. The dude responded, I shit you not. I'm 25. I know what a slur is, you F-slur. Don't you dare try to educate me about this. F you and 41% yourself. The dude opened with a dick pic over the toilet. Also, I'm 30 and this dude, like a Riz black hole. What the fuck? No! A dude, I talked about this. I showed this to my wife. I get unsolicited dick pics sometimes, as women are one to do. And a dude fucking took a picture of his dick over a toilet. People with dicks. Let me give you a hint, okay? If you're sending someone a dick pic, first of all, make sure it's consensual. Never send anyone a dick pic without their consent, okay? Secondly, don't take it over a toilet. You know what's not sexy? Toilets. I don't want to see a dick near a toilet, okay? No toilet dick. Stop it.
They always blame men. No matter what it is, it's the men's fault.
Well, they believe in the right for female votes, so...
Correct.
Of course, they are feminists.
You know what a red flag...
Jesus Christ.
Flag with me is, if a red flag on Hinge, like, you know, for the purpose of smashing and dashing.
Jamie says, you know what's not sexy? Toilets. Speak for yourself, shake my head. Banned.
You know what a red flag is, Hammerhead?
No.
Get out of here with your Blumpkin stink. Jamie says, for legal reasons, that was a joke. Hello. I love you. Chitara says, that commandment is going in the Book of Paul.
Got to be 10,000 of them.
No, if I'm just smashing and dashing, my red flag is she doesn't swallow. She doesn't do that, next bitch.
Ouch.
Boom. And I'm the reason why there's no marriages. Why? Show me a virgin and she doesn't want to give me head, period, for the rest of my life, and she's willing to submit. I don't need head to have a family. Now, I'm very convincing. I'm very charismatic. Hey, I always know you wanted to take a trip to Bali. Oh, you really like these Gucci shoes. If only there was type 4 collagen wrapped around the glands of my organ, I could see myself buying you that bag and taking you to Bali. Oh, well! Chronic, you bastard.
Terrible. You're a terrible
I'd
man.
be very degenerate with my wife. That's my wife. I can do whatever I want with her. Let's continue. With social media today, men can scroll through their feeds and popular pages to view more beautiful women in one sitting than most men would have seen in a lifetime 100 years ago. All the women on Instagram that pop up to the top, they actually get a visceral reaction out of me, like disgusting.
That seems
I
intense.
gotta be really, really honest with you. It's kind of the same. I'm not really disgusted. I just don't.
Okay, I'm done with these guys. Okay, it's a little early, but I think I'm done for the day. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you guys later. See you tomorrow for something. Adios. Love you, Mr. Blast.